Gotta watch that 5-round MMA,
Welcome everyone, this is
y'all.
5-Round MMA. My name is Alex Ramirez, alongside my in-studio co-host Albert Cita, and on the phone we have from Orlando, Florida, Guillermo Cita. I just want to apologize to all of our fans out there if we sound a little bit hungover. It's because we still got that royal wedding crash that we're going through. Albert, what do you think of it?
Can I just make one comment?
Yeah,
I think George Washington will be rolling over his grave knowing that Americans were waking up so early to watch a royal wedding in UK. Didn't we leave them for a reason? We don't have... I don't know if people know this. We won the war.
Yeah.
We don't have to worship
The
them
problem,
no more.
Albert, is that we don't have weddings like that ever. So when there is a royal wedding, everybody
Guillermo, did you not see the 2 marriages on Keeping Up with the Kardashians? We have royal weddings all the time.
Oh God!
Kim Kardashian's had 3 of them already, and then of course we cannot forget the real royal wedding couple almost 20 years ago. Macho Man, Miss Elizabeth. But
No,
yeah,
that was a real wedding.
The real royal wedding. Yeah, mass hysteria here in the United States about an American princess now, I guess, but whatever. Anyways, let's get to mixed martial. Actually, LeBron has finally won a game against the Celtics, which is I guess,
Which is disgusting.
Albert's boy Steph Curry goes today.
yeah. As of this recording, they've not played yet.
And
so we'll see.
Guillermo's boy CP3's going to get it done.
Funny how you switch teams now all of a sudden.
No, I just don't like Warriors, and I just don't like Cavs. You could have literally inserted any other team on the other side,
Yeah.
and I would have rooted for them.
Well, then it's going to be by default. It has to be the Rockets because if the Celtics go in, you can't root for the Celtics as a Lakers fan. You can't root for them at all. So, but
Yeah,
your hatred for LeBron trumps your Celtics Lakers rivalry.
And
so you're rooting for the Celtics to beat LeBron and then the Celtics to lose badly in the finals.
Exactly.
It just makes sense that way.
And I don't care how salty I sound. We should have got CP3, dog. That's some bull.
You know what? That's like 6 years. I'm still.
And I'm still
bitter
not
about
over
that.
it. I'm not over it.
Let's get to mixed martial arts. We have a recap for UFC Chile. UFC heading to Moscow, getting more and more internationally known. Chuck Liddell returns, the Iceman. UFC heading to ESPN, and it will preview Fight Night. Was it Cowboy Cerrone versus Darren Till coming up next week, I think? Or one of them, I forget which one. One of them's coming up. I forget which one it is, but we'll preview that coming up next. Round number 1, let's get started. UFC at Chile took place on Saturday. Kamaru Usman defeats Damian Maia. Damian Maia, unanimous decision in 5 rounds. A pretty boring fight. But I asked you, Guillermo, who did better, Usman or Tyron Woodley? Because that's the debate coming out of this.
Usman.
Because Woodley said, you know what, yeah, now you know what it's like. It's not so easy looking good against Tyron Woodley, is it? Well, I did it better, and I beat him better. And then Usman responded on Twitter saying, you know what, who did it better? So you say Usman did it better than Woodley? Why is that?
I just think it was a little bit more entertaining, and he wasn't running necessarily from Damian Maia. And that's the only reason why. But other than that, I mean, I think Tyron Woodley versus Usman, it would be a legitimate, good stand-up war. So I want to see that. But it's just Damian Maia is the Machida effect. Same thing all over again. It's a chess match, so you got to play it carefully. I mean, it is what it is.
Who did it better, Albert?
The curious case of Damian Maia. This guy can make you look like the worst fighter in the world. Just ask Anderson Silva. I think for these little, I should say little, because they're welterweights, so they're middle guys. Here's the point I'm trying to make. Maia makes everybody look bad.
Yeah.
So for them to argue about who looked best at looking worse is a stupid argument, I think. And when Anderson Silva was in the cream of the crop, he even looked bad against Damian Maia because Damian Maia just brings the worst performance out of people. Anderson Silva couldn't finish him. He couldn't do anything. He just pretty much danced around the whole time.
Yeah.
So I think this argument's dumb. I think Damian Maia just did what Damian Maia does and make you look bad. If you beat him, you make him look bad.
Yeah, basically he makes you look bad at the expense of him even looking even worse.
But you know who?
Nobody's impressed by Damian Maia at all.
I'm not gonna tiptoe around the question like Guillermo over here. I'll tell you straight up. Colby Covington looked the best against Damian Maia.
All right. Well, now I mean we got the interim title between RDA and Covington coming up in a couple weeks. You got Usman out there. Woodley was kind of nonchalant in his answer when they asked him during the post-fight panel who wants to fight next. He keeps saying that everybody should beat up each other before they can fight me. So they'll go from there. Let's go to the co-main event. Tatiana Suarez eviscerated Alexa Grasso. That wasn't even a fight. It's basically a schoolyard beatdown. Tatiana Suarez is the first female tough winner, or like it was at the all tough it was Julia Pena won it, but she's like the one who won the all female cast or something like that. If I remember the last one, I don't remember. Anyways, she won the tough. That's all I remember. Defeats Grasso pretty easily in under 3 minutes. Grasso just I think they put Grasso in the top 10 before this fight just so this could say Tatiana Suarez beat a top 10 opponent. I think now because this was not if Sean Shelby put this together, whoever's in charge of the women's fight, this wasn't even.
This was a big time.
It was
mismatch.
It was a squash match.
It was the biggest squash match
for your professional wrestling nerds out there.
This really irritates me because first of all, I'm not going to take down my Alexa Grasso poster in my room.
No.
I might take out some emoji hearts off because that did break my heart to see her get manhandled, woman handled like that. But I don't remember such a mismatch since seeing Chad Mendes versus what was his name? That tall, skinny guy with long hair.
I talking about
Yeah, and you nerds know what I'm talking about out there. But anyways, I didn't like the mismatch. I don't like mismatches. I think they should have done a better setup for both Tatiana and Alexa Grasso. With that said, though, dang, Tatiana looked good, and I'm actually pretty excited to see some more matches at the 115 division.
Again, what do you think? Nobody I can't think of one female wrestler who has the wrestling credentials that Tatiana Suarez has. I think she was an Olympic qualifying before she found out she had a neck injury, which led to the diagnosis of thyroid cancer. So we could have been very much talking about her being an Olympic wrestler, and the likes of almost like Kurt Angle, basically, or like DC or Dan Henderson. All these people are these elite wrestlers who come into mixed martial arts and dominate. Do you think the UFC has something here and a future star in Suarez?
I don't know about future star because, like you guys said, it was very disappointing. The problem is, like any elite wrestler, is that they're boring to watch. I mean, you talk about John Fitch's. What's your boy that's not even in the UFC? Ben Askren. When you talk about these wrestlers,
but Tatiana's exciting though.
Her promos aren't the best, but
the thing is, wrestlers will always be somewhat successful. It's just sometimes it's a little bit boring to watch. We talked about Damian Maia not too long ago. Same aspect. When you focus in on one craft of it, it can be. And when you talk about jiu-jitsu or grappling, it could get a little bit too technical, and that's where the boring aspect comes. So,
but I would like Tatiana to fight an actual top 10 opponent.
Well, she did fight one.
No. Come on, let's keep it real.
Like
a real top
Jessica
10.
Andrade.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I'd rather see some of those belts coming up for her. But yeah.
And I imagine for Grasso, the MMA gyms in Mexico might be slim pickings because she's been specifically at Lobo MMA for a long time now. Maybe she needs to branch out, maybe get some experience somewhere else before. I mean, it's not no fault to her. It's just kind of. I think MMA is just barely growing in Mexico.
Yeah.
Hence the number amount of gyms. Maybe she should try investing in somewhere else and see where it kind of could lead her if she wants to get that next level. That's it for round number one. We're going to come back with the UFC big news moving up to Mother Russia for an event in September, and we're going to circulate who's going to be on the card. Welcome back. Time for round number two. The UFC has been booked for an arena in stadium in Moscow that reportedly holds 35,000 people. The cards will take place somewhere between September 14th and 15th. It's potential event dates. As of right now, no fights have been announced. Obviously, we're a long way out. But quote, the UFC continues to make progress in Russian markets and is actively working on a partnership that could result in the global brand potentially hosting its first ever event in Russia in 2018. U officials said in a statement. As standard operating procedure, UFC strategically holds dates with venues around the world in order to continually develop the brand internationally by bringing fight fans world-class events. So I guess it's not official, or I don't know what, but they've marked their calendars for Russia, September. Obviously, the big one is Khabib Nurmagomedov. I think Ramadan's over by that time. Even though he said he wanted to fight sometime in November, December, I think they said. But Guillermo, it makes kind of sense. He has to be on this card, right?
Well, if you guys follow the UFC on Instagram, the very first thing that I noticed is that Khabib's all over that video. That's the first.
For the Russia one, right? Yeah.
Yeah, for the Russia one. The other one is that light heavyweight. What's his name that wears the ankle braces? Pretty tall guy. He's on a run himself.
Alexander Volkov.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's going to be an exciting card. But I mean, I told you guys right off the back. I even sent you guys the promo video for the Instagram. Is that you're going to get Khabib versus Conor McGregor because you have him as the champion. McGregor's still the highest guy, and he's already called out that he's willing to go to Russia. So I mean, everybody should be really, really excited of what's to come.
Okay, so I'm going to play conspiracy theory here.
I was about to play it too.
It looks like they're going to try and book an event the 14th, 15th. Isn't that Mexican Independence Day?
Let's dig a little bit deeper. Guess who's booked on that day potentially?
Isn't Canelo Alvarez, right?
Canelo and Triple G. And Canelo's boy Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boys Production is trying to put that together. So Dana White is trying to book a bigger card with his biggest star, Conor McGregor. So I really do think this is not an accident. I think as soon as they knew that the Triple G thing was probably going to go down September, they went and put the wheels in motion. Got that Russian card, and of course it's in September. Why else would it be in September?
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure they're going to... Dana White can speculate and say all he wants, but we know what's the matchup. It's Conor versus Khabib, as long as the law doesn't interfere. And even then, the law doesn't go that far to Russia.
As a very proud American, I have nothing but I can only protest this event. As they go ongoing investigations in Russia. But, yeah, it just makes sense. I think... we'll see. It has to. Khabib has to be on this card, and then I guess they're gonna book it as a fight night event. I guess, but it seems like they're making such big news about this. I mean, you could make the UFC's debut in Chile a fight night card, right? You can make the UFC's debut in Oklahoma City a fight night card, but such polarizing country like Russia, it kind of has to be a big deal, right?
What's the name associated with the country?
Yeah,
and that's Khabib. I mean, like. You don't put a fight card or a fight night around Khabib. You do a pay-per-view, especially if you add Conor McGregor's name attached to it.
Yeah.
And I think at the same time, I think they're being deceiving by saying that this isn't a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Let's keep it real. I think the time is going to be a big issue. And maybe that has something to do with it. But at the same time, when people do, because I've read the dirt sheets in MMA saying it's a fight night, so people are saying Khabib, you're an idiot because it's practically going to be a free fight. But at the same time, ratings is like the number one thing right now.
Yeah.
And for people to think that Conor McGregor not associated with pay-per-view is a dumb idea, you're dumb. Because you know how much advertisement, whatever. And the fact that the numbers sell. I mean, if they do ridiculous numbers and still beat the Canelo Alvarez fight, that says way more than a pay-per-view UFC card.
Yeah, true. So we have Khabib, we have Alexander Volkov, we have the guy who Rodriguez didn't want to fight, right? He's Russian.
Yeah.
And then
we got Zabit, Mokhrat Shamporovi, Merbik, Tasumu, Rosam Muzam Shavuk, and a couple other guys. Excuse my Russian.
Very good, Albert.
I love it, Albert. I love it.
And then I don't know if Ali Bagutinov is still fighting, but was like
Albert, you didn't even butcher that, dude. That was spot on.
Thank you.
So I guess they can sprinkle it on there. It would be kind of cool if they get, like, I don't know. I'm not too brushed up on Russian women's mixed martial arts. Wouldn't it be cool like this debut some like monster Russian mixed martial arts?
That we never heard.
Some women's like
genetically engineered,
kind of like a Drago, but like female version, just come and smash everybody. That would be kind of cool, right?
I would love it. Cyborg.
Yeah, just kind of do
the Russian version.
Of Cyborg,
like
who's been in hiding, who's fighting in these like random bars in Russia and training in bars and barns in Russia, but in the snow. But
hey guys. I don't want to extend this round, but I think this is kind of important. The Eddie Alvarez versus Dustin Poirier matchup.
Yeah,
I think that is really key to what's going on in Russia because if you look at both guys, they're calling for the title as well, and that puts a weird strain on Tony Ferguson as well. So I mean. We can talk about it in a later round, but I just think that. Well,
Guillermo just made me start thinking even more conspiracy. You know why it wouldn't be a pay-per-view? Because Americans wouldn't pay for Russian, but then if it's free, they'll check it out.
Yeah.
See? I got you, Dana White.
That's it for round number 2. We're going to come back and talk about the potential return of the Iceman, Chuck Liddell. Welcome back. Time for round number 3. The Iceman, Chuck Liddell.
Who?
Announced his return
It's all fun and games until someone gets really hurt.
Until someone gets knocked out, gets brain damage.
He is targeting to fight Tito Ortiz later this year, and that he also commented that he wants to fight John Jones as well.
Oh my God.
That John Jones, he said that on Twitter. Jones said, quote, "Old Chuck has been calling me out for years. I get it. I hold pretty much every record in the division. I normally try to respect my elders, but if you want to come and get it, I'd literally fly you out to Albuquerque this weekend. I want to see a sparring match, John Jones. Come on, pay-per-view. You might want to test the strength of that jaw before you take a bite you can't chew. In all seriousness, at Chuck Liddell, I appreciate your offer for a fight, but due to scheduling conflicts, may not be able to fulfill till mid-2019 because he's suspended, right?"
Yes.
Yeah. In the coming months, I have similar lethal opponents in Ric Flair and George Foreman awaiting. Liddell is 48 going on 50. Last fought in June 2010, I believe. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We may know this last week or a couple weeks ago about Oscar De La Hoya promoting Golden Boy MMA and possibly getting Chuck Liddell on board. But now Liddell say, yeah, he's going out there. He's doing pub. He's saying, yeah, I want to fight so and so on this date. I also want to fight so and so. What do you make of this, Albert?
Wolf tickets is how I make it. It's out. And first of all, John Jones, how dare you respect your seniors? All right, that's rude. One, if if Ric Flair talks trash to me, I'ma just let him do it. I don't care how old Ric Flair is. He can trash talk all he wants to me because I respect my seniors. But with that said, though, it's Wolf tickets. Let's keep it real. There's no way you can tell me that the old Chuck Liddell can come back because. One, he left very in a bad note, and you can get back in the gym as much as you want, but I don't think you can really fix. I don't even know how to explain it, but I mean, he was getting knocked out viciously.
Yeah,
and I don't know how you fix that. You can hit the gym more, whatever. It's not like you're getting more. I don't know. He can't get in better shape than he could at his peak.
But
so how are you going to fix that? It doesn't make any sense to me. And while on the other hand, Tito Ortiz, weirdly enough, has been doing decent at his age, and he's been active, and he has not been losing the way Chuck Liddell lost his last 3 fights in the UFC.
Yeah, it seems like we all laughed at Vitor Belfort's proposed Legends division a couple of years ago, about a year ago, about the modifying the rules for the older guys here. But it's coming to reality, huh, Guillermo? These older guys just don't want. I mean, fans of professional wrestling will get this because we see all these older guys come back for one last run, for one last. And then
douchebags like you, Alex, say he still got it.
I do not chant at all at wrestling events, but now because MMA is a new sport. We're only 25 years in the UFC. Now we're kind of seeing the first generation guys. Maybe they want another chance at the spotlight because as newer fans keep coming in. Hey, who's Chuck Liddell again? I don't know. What I mean, there's guys who are 19 years old who don't know.
But at the same time, Alex, let's keep this wrestling metaphor going. Nobody wants to see Sting versus Seth Rollins. And what happens when we saw it? Sting showed his age, homie, and he was done.
We need to get.
But I do not want to see that in wrestling. I do not want to see it in real life.
Are you done?
Now I'm done.
Okay, so let's say Sting versus Undertaker. Would you tune in for that?
No.
Because this is technically what we have.
I want to see some sloppy tombstone, sloppy Stinger splash, and the worst Boston Crab you have ever seen in your life, Guillermo.
Them gassing out 2 minutes in.
You had your chance. You had your chance to sound dumb. So you had Chuck Liddell, and you're bashing him left and right that he shouldn't even be out in the octagon. But if you actually really keep track of Tito Ortiz, he's had a neck surgery not too long ago, so he's not in the best health condition either. And if you think about it, Tito Ortiz is the one that backed out on the when they were about to fight in the UFC when they did the tough season, and at the end he called off. So I think it's not like Chuck Liddell's fighting for a championship, for crying out loud. It's not like he's fighting a younger Machida or anything like that, like Vitor Belfort. But I think Vitor Belfort versus Chuck Liddell right now at this point makes sense. I wouldn't be upset with it. I mean, there's nothing to gain. If you add Wanderlei Silva to that mix, I mean, I'm not mad about it. You get me? So the thing is, yes, I agree. Sting versus Seth Rollins doesn't make sense, but you're talking about Seth Rollins in his prime versus someone that's past his prime. But a Sting versus Undertaker makes a lot more sense. Yes, you're going to sell all these Wolf tickets, but nonetheless, you get two people a little bit more closer to comparison than someone in his prime, which Tito Ortiz is clearly not.
Well, TMZ reported that Tito Ortiz, they got exclusive with him. Sorry. Tito said, quote, it's going to be the hugest event in MMA history, and that he's 100% committed to making Ortiz versus Liddell 3 happen. I feel healthy. I am the $1 million man. Let's make a couple more million kicking Chuck Liddell's ass. This is going to build. It's going to be the hugest fight in MMA history. Watch and see, end quote. Do you think there's something here? Are they partnering with Oscar De La Hoya, do you think? Is that because Liddell versus Ortiz in Bellator ain't going to be the biggest event in history? But Liddell, Ortiz, and then by themselves, maybe? I don't know.
So I disagree with Albert in meaning that Chuck Liddell and Tito Ortiz does make sense. But in a way, if I'm Oscar De La Hoya, I stay the hell away from this fight. There's a reason why these guys didn't fight the third time is because both of them physically probably can't even make it to the card. So, hey, Chuck Liddell, here's some water, drink it, chill until fight night. Tito Ortiz, here's some water, chill on your couch until fight night. Maybe do some cardio, but that's it. Do not spar whatsoever during this. I just want to see you guys make weight, get into the cage, and fight there.
We'll see. I don't know. Interesting.
I mean, they're Wolf tickets, but I'm buying. I'm not even trying to lie. I'm gonna buy them tickets.
That's it for round number 3. We're gonna take a small break and come back and enter the championship rounds. But before I do that, I want to give a shout out to all of our sponsors. Starting with Mobilitas, mobility tools, the best mobility tools on the planet. Durable, portable, myofascial release products designed with more grip to better restore muscle to its original health. Sexy, supple, luscious designs. Use promo code 5RoundMMA. It's the number 5RoundMMA for 20% off your order. Get those muscles nice and loose with the foam rollers, foam peanuts, tennis balls. You get the little knots on your back out. That's Mobilitas Mobility Tools 5RoundMMA for 20% off your order. A big shout out to 5 Rounds Clothing. They offer a unique collection of MMA apparel and accessories. They incorporate the culture, style, and attitude of mixed martial arts in their clothing line. Follow them on Twitter and Instagram at 5rounds_ and at 5roundswear. And a big, huge shout out to our good friends, partners at FightBookMMA.com. FightBookMMA.com is a place you'll find real combat news from all over the world. A website you can trust with accurate news from MMA, kickboxing, boxing, local promotions to the major ones. It's all there under one roof. If you love combat sports, bookmark FightBookMMA, and then follow them on all forms of social media: Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Don't
forget it's associated with USA Today too.
Yes, it's a big, and that's a huge partnership. They'll be announced. They're associated with USA Today as well. So big things coming from FightBookMMA.com. 4th and 5th round coming up next. Welcome back. Time for the 4th round. So this piece of news happened a couple weeks ago, but we're just now getting around talking about it because we talk about the fights first. We're not about business stuff because what do we know about business stuff? Well, it was announced earlier this month that UFC partnered with ESPN Plus, which is the new subscription direct-to-customer streaming service, to offer up to 15 fight night cards per year and bring the organization $750 million over the next 5 years. What this means exactly for the ESPN deal with Fox Sports, I'm not too sure, but ESPN is getting in the MMA business. After kind of tippy-toe all these years, 1 foot in, 1 foot out, they had the MMA Tonight show, didn't they? Like late night, and then they kind of canceled it, and then Fox Sports came in and bought bought time for UFC. Now Fox Sports is all MMA out. What do you make of this, Albert? This is on ESPN Plus, not ESPN. So
it's actually quite simple. It's I think the fans are the ones that benefit from it because of the failure of the Fight Pass. The Fight Pass did not click, and they try to put those extra cards on there, and they just saw that people weren't buying.
Is that what this is, you think?
I think that's exactly what it is.
Singapore, Australia.
They just did not sell.
New Zealand, Sweden.
And I think with ESPN,
Austria,
they have enough content that if they bring in UFC, I think those minor events are going to be watched. And ESPN Plus, if people don't know, is $4.99. So that's cheaper than getting the Fight Pass. The Fight Pass is what, $10?
I assume so, yeah.
I'm assuming it's $10.
That's a joke, Albert.
But anyways, ESPN is going to be $5, And not only do you get the fight pass, you get the extra little fights. It's gonna be like 15 live fights or something like that for UFC. But you also gonna get a bunch of other content that they're gonna throw out there. Some MLB, some NHL, some MLS. So I think the fans are ones that benefit from this deal, and I think it's the fight pass failure that caused this.
Hey, but this all kind of seems to like. Is it?
So
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I agree with Albert what he's saying in terms of they're trying to get more content into ESPN, but it's not the failure of the fight pass; it's the failure of ESPN. To be honest with you, the reason if you see the people that are making cuts and budget cuts is ESPN. ESPN's a failure; it's a sinking ship right now, and they're trying to get more people to watch. I think it's more of like, hey, let's try to think outside the box, dude. All day today, I've been clicking over to ESPN. It's college softball, for crying out loud. I didn't even click it once. I'd rather watch reruns of The Office than college softball. So I think they're throwing at least a haymaker out there. Hey, I've noticed that people actually they'll tune in to at least see who's fighting on the card if it's someone they recognize, and maybe they'll stick around to stay in ESPN and watch MLS soccer, watch MLB Tonight, watch NFL Live or whatever the case may be that they show after. Right now, it's all this filler stuff that nobody watches.
Yeah, well, I think too with ESPN almost had like the MTV effect where MTV got away from music videos. ESPN got away from sport, and they kind of they fell in love with these journalists and commentators giving their opinion 24 hours a day. That all you see now is a different version of the same show. You have Pardon the Interruption, followed by Around the Horn, followed by First Take, followed by Mike and Mike, something by Sports Nation.
It's the exact same topics that they bring up.
Exactly.
But let's keep it real, Alex. The reason why we're even bringing this up as a round is that your boy Ariel Helwani is going to ESPN, which opens up a spot for us on MMAfighting.com.
Right here, brothers. You guys know where it's at.
And guess what? ESPN can come knocking. We gonna say
leaving? Come on now.
Down.
So MMA Fighting, go ahead and give it a call. Leave us a DM.
Throw our name out there.
Please slide into our DMs.
Yes.
MMA Fighting now.
I mean, we're wrestling fans. We're just as douchey as Ariel Helwani.
We could be douchey.
We can be douchier if you guys want. Come on now. So but I also think too, it's the broadcasting rights for UFC are still being negotiated, so Fox still has a chance to get get in there. Supposedly NBC is reportedly interested as well, but
don't be surprised if you even see wrestling WWE on ESPN. I don't know if you guys saw the latest.
That's possible. I read that too.
That WWE is shopping around Raw and SmackDown, and gonna be getting a enormous deal out of this.
Yeah.
So don't be surprised if you start seeing SmackDown on ESPN.
And I don't work for ESPN, but let me give you let me give a rundown on ESPN Plus, Guillermo. I don't think you know how good ESPN Plus is going to be. You're going to get something called The Detail, a basketball analysis by Kobe Bryant, Guillermo. Come on now. That's $5 worth right there. You get to see a documentary series leading up to the World Cup. Come on, Guillermo. You know you love soccer.
Hey, bro. So, and I mean, just to contradict that, Albert, if you watch Fox Sports Channel, they're gonna have this icons, phenomenons documentary on the best sports athletes for the World Cup. So, dude, check it out. Dele Alli. I already saw some of the preview. Oh my God, it's legit, bro. So I mean, whatever you say for ESPN, you can say for Fox Sports. This is why they're trying to get into the MMA game, the WWE, hopefully WWE game too.
Are you telling me we're gonna get another Monday Night War?
Monday Night Wars.
But it's gonna be Fox Sports and ESPN. I like it.
They've been at it for a while. We got one more round coming up. Before we do that, I want to give a shout out to the rest of our sponsors. First with Dioxyme supplements with morals, products that promote the active lifestyle, improve athletic performance, and provide health benefits. Follow them on Twitter and Instagram at Dioxyme. That's Dioxyme, and visit Dioxyme.com. Also, Girl Gang Wraps, hand wraps, and clothing. Girl Gang Wraps was created for the girl that practices martial arts but also likes making a fashion statement. Fight gear for the fight babe. Fight like a girl, and badass apparel. Follow them on Twitter and Instagram at Girl Gang Wraps, and visit girlgangwraps.com. Also, big shout out to our friends, the Dos Leprechauns podcast, Leprechaun Jason, Leprechaun Nate, bringing to you Notre Dame football, MMA, professional sports, professional wrestling, all that under one roof. I'm pretty sure they're going to talk about Chuck Liddell's coming out of retirement in their next episode. So make sure to keep an eye out for that. The Dos Leprechauns podcast, 5th and final round coming up next. Welcome back, fifth and final round. So when the show started, I said we're going to preview the next fight now, which I thought was going to be Donald Cerrone versus somebody else. But it's actually Steven Thompson versus Darren Till. Sunday, May 27th in the Echo Arena in Liverpool, England, which is, other than pretty much the main event, this is kind of a...
You're telling me you're not excited to see Neil Magny?
No.
Okay.
Elias Theodore,
our boy,
is on the fight.
In the fight pass.
Oh my God. Come on, man.
He deserves more respect.
Come on. That's a travesty here. But, hey, Guillermo, with the impending retirement and end of the career of Michael Bisping, the UFC is desperate for that England star. Do they have it here in Darren Till?
I think so. I think because other than Darren Till, what Englishman can you really name? Yeah, and so I mean, you put your eggs in one basket. He has a potential good matchup against Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. So I think if he wins this, you can kind of push that. So I mean, it's eggs in one basket. You always want all these international stars. I've realized that if you have that one person from each country kind of representing,
pretty much,
really helps out. Yeah, it really helps out. So I think it's a win-win for the UFC. If Darren Till can come out victorious, it would suck if he doesn't, because Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, for all his skills, nobody wants to fight him, and he's kind of boring because it's another chess match.
Albert, what do you think? Who do you like in this fight, Wonderboy or Darren Till?
It's funny. I was actually going to go with Darren Till for the longest time as I thought about it, but you know what? My boy Wonderboy, I'm not going to double cross you. I think Wonderboy got this. I think Wonderboy's going to show that there's a reason why he needs a third try at that welterweight belt. And I think it's going to be a nasty KO. And I think the UK needs to keep looking for another star because it ain't going to happen. And just know that I'm very bummed out because I want to see my boy Gunnar Nelson in this one, but he got hurt. But, yeah, I think Wonderboy got it.
Hey, real quick question for both of you guys. What dojo would Wonderboy belong to? Miyagi Dojo or Cobra Kai?
You know it's Miyagi.
He's Miyagi?
He's Miyagi.
You think so?
Right, yeah.
He's not strike first, strike hard?
No.
You think?
Yeah, Miyagi.
Miyagi? Michita's the Cobra Kai, huh?
Oh, clearly. He will sweep the feet.
So, yeah, obviously, Wonderboy is coming off those kind of two back-to-back performances of Tyron Woodley where he drew...
The
Cobra Kai.
That's for sure.
He just defeated Jorge Masvidal back in November of last year. Russell Darren Till just knocked out Donald Cerrone. So this is this is a big. Well, I think it's a bigger fight. Could be Till's breakout fight, or could we Steven Thompson say, "Hey, I'm still here in this division.
And he's not going nowhere.
I'm not going anywhere." Neil Magny
10 years difference, by the way. So you're really seeing a big either you got a rising star in one hand or you have an established star in the other. Yeah. It's actually a pretty cool story. Too bad that there's not the stackness isn't there to really get me pumped up for this.
Yeah, I know. This is we got Memorial Day coming up to the United States this weekend, so that's probably why it's on a Sunday. People figured people stay in and watch this. If I'm home in time for the main event, I will watch it. Other than that, I'm not going to rush home to watch the rest of the card, even though I should, because this is an MMA podcast and we kind of talk about this stuff. But I mean, come on now. Does Ariel Helwani have everybody from the fights on his show the next day? No, right? He just has the big stars on the next day, right?
We want all the rest.
Yeah. We should watch the Fight Pass. Actually, we're doing it wrong. We need to preview from the bottom up. So let's talk about Lena Landsberg.
Let's talk about Dan Kelly real quick.
Let's talk about Dan Kelly on a hot streak right now, guys.
He's actually on a 2-fight losing streak.
Yeah, but what about if we don't know these guys and we're not interested?
That's what we get. That's what we make the audience get to know them. People like my boy Claudio Silva, who is 11-1. He's on a 2-fight win streak here in the UFC. Hasn't lost since his first bout. The guy is just a beast from Brazil. 35 years old, same age as Wonderboy.
Yes.
So those are the fights we should be talking about. And again, he's in the welterweight division as well.
We've been doing this wrong. No wonder we're at.
What's funny is, what's in the back of my head while you're saying this is the five round MMA jinx, dude.
I know. Watch. I just gave a nice shout out to our boy Claudio Silva. and he's probably gonna lose. Sorry,
Also,
bro.
if you guys
that was on
haven't-
me. That's on me.
Our fighter spotlight has returned this week with an awesome interview with Sydney Sundance Smith out of Virginia. She took the time out to answer some great in-depth questions about her. So if you are somebody you know who is an aspiring mixed martial artist and wants to get your name out there and wants to support your upcoming fight, just leave us an email at FiveRoundMMA@gmail.com or DM us on Twitter and Instagram, and we'll hook up with you and we'll send you some questions. The answer, we'll talk to you, we'll interview you, we'll get you an article out there that promote people can get to know you, sponsors get to know you, and that's our way of kind of giving back to the fighters because they do a lot. So check it out with our fighter spotlight this week with Sydney Sundance Smith, only at FiveRoundMMA.com. That's it for this week's show. Make sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at FiveRoundMMA. It's FIVE Round MMA. Like us on Facebook. Subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Podomatic, and YouTube. And of course, visit FiveRoundMMA.com. A big thank you to all of our sponsors. Albert, what do you got?
Just want to say, what a heartbreaking loss against Portland Timbers. I'll see you next year, Portland.
What's the record for the LAFC?
They have a pretty good record. That's only their third loss, I think. They're pretty good.
How many wins?
I want to say 6 or 7 around there. But anyways, next year I'll see you, Portland, in Portland. Guillermo, you got it.
Okay, so breaking news: the band is almost back together. So hopefully after July, I will be back in California, guys.
Are you dropping news on us? What?
Dang, you just did some breaking news at the end of the show.
There you go, man. I want people to tune in to 5 Round MMA to find breaking news.
Cliffhanger.
But the band will be back together sometime in either late July, early August. So I'll be back there in studio, guys.
There you go.
Oh yeah, cream of the crop.
Thanks for tuning in